We have some squatting today. This is very similar to 2 weeks ago, and we can add load or time under tension. So essentially, we have 4 sets. Okay, each set consists of 6 1.5 squats. Okay, that's a single leg version. So whether you're splitting, lunging, lifting the back leg, or for my athletes with bigger weights / want to do 2-footed squats, we're doing 8 1.5 squats. And I said goblet, if you want to carry it differently, just carry a weight if that's a reasonable thing for you to do. And then 5 push-ups to a down dog. This can be more of a yoga flow, just kind of move the body. It could also be like a proper push-up into a really big stretch on purpose. So you can treat it more strengthy, hard push-up, down doggy, or it's more just like you're just waking up, wiggling up, depending on what your body needs from you today. So we're going to do that a total of 4 times. We'll warm up first, of course. And before we get going, any questions on what we got going on I'm with the whiteboard, like I'm in a gym, sorry, on the screen today. Cool. Fun fact, Meg has the updated version. So when she does this, it shows a thumbs up. So when she was holding her coffee, it kept saying thumbs up.
Oh, that's what that was.
Yeah. So if it sees that shape, it'll like, now that you're trying, of course, doesn't work, but it was showing like a little thumbs up bubble. Just fun fact.
I think I was doing this actually. Nope, it's not.
No, you were holding your coffee. You were just holding it. And it was just showing. Well, now you're trying, Meg. So of course it's like, we're not going to work. So we're going to start this session as usual with a bit of floor work. So Maxine, if you want to go and hide, that's okay.
Bye-bye.
Go ahead. Let's start with your cat cows. I'm assuming we all just woke up. Meg, did you go for your run yet?
Shut up.
That's a no. Okay. Let's go ahead.
Don't you tell my PT.
I won't tell her. You told me to ask you, and I asked you.
Oh my God, I ran on Sunday for 20 minutes and it was 30 freaking mile-an-hour winds.
I mean, that's just mean.
I was like getting pushed over, but I was like, hey, but I'm running. This is running.
Or being held up, conversely.
My hip didn't hurt.
That's good.
That bush I almost hit did. Oh.
I heard, okay, I think based on your diet, hurting a bush is definitely against your ethos. Just gonna put it out there.
Don't tell me plants have feelings.
I'm not. You're the vegan.
That's why I eat them. Have your feelings, Mr. Plant.
I mean, friends I know, I've made fun of like, plants have feelings. Like, shut up. Okay, after your 10-ish reps, alternating arms and legs, or just legs, extend the foot, lift the leg without rotating the hip out. So legs extended, squeeze. You might add the arms in or not. Let's go 10 per side. If you need to kick something, that's okay. You can turn around and kick Joseph, Elizabeth, if you want.
Elizabeth, you're allowed to kick Joseph. But only for half an hour.
He knows. And the arms are optional. So if you're kind of wobbling, falling over, it's not a bad thing. It's more like you don't feel like you have to fall on your face to make that effective or work. Okay. So while we're in our tabletop, let's go ahead and do I call it threading the needle. I can't think of a better name for this. So you're going to start on all fours. I'm going to rotate my left hand up towards the sky. I'm going to throw my left hand between my right wrist, my left knee. Show you from the front. The level of rotation is up to you. So you can go full back of the shoulder on the ground or as far as you want. Just kind of pulling that shoulder blade and lat off. And we're just going to repeat this a total of 3 times. I know you can't see my arm above screen here, but that's okay. Take your time. 3 per side. At some point, the warm-up's doing pretty similar, but also it's always 6 a.m. So. Meg's a cactus, just waiting.
Doing my swimmer stretch. Man, my shoulder.
Okay, let's go ahead, have a seat. Feet shoulder width apart. We're gonna drop the legs off. If you're in a tiny room facing each other, just go and take turns. Or you can just hold that stretch and then switch a little bit. A total of 10. I want a gap between the heel and the knee. Okay.
See, I have to do these before I run anyway, so see,
See?
this is good. The
I don't
50,000
know.
squats, maybe not so good.
It's like, I don't care what order you do it in, Meg. Your PT does. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna do our arm circles. Again, if you need to create some space. I see Joseph's toes. Just a little bit. You can do kneeling, standing. I'm gonna go kneeling, but you can stand. Yeah. I will say, obviously, if you're sitting down, you might not have the full range of motion. That's okay. Just don't whack anything.
Except Joseph.
That's not a nice joke. We should stop saying that, huh?
I know, I love Joseph.
Well,
He's
that's
my buddy.
once you have 10-ish, one direction, thumbs up, elbow straight, 10 the opposite. Again, all pain-free. Forward and back. Does Carrie forget the link again?
I turned on do not disturb, but my husband keeps texting me pictures of my very cute dog. Sorry.
There are worse things.
It's proof. Otter took a package of mine to the post office this morning on his way to camp. He's a good boy. See what a good boy he
Very
is.
sweet. This is why I can't have a dog. I would just quit my job and be like, I'm so sorry. I have to be with my dog. So please leave. And never leave my house again. And that's what would happen. Okay, last but not least, thumbs down. We haven't already. I know if you've done this already, you sort of you can go through the sequence at your own pace. Gradually getting bigger. You can rest before changing directions. Okay. You need to rest before changing directions, you can.
Thumbs down sucks. Sorry.
You mean internal and external rotation? Internal rotation of the shoulder, external rotation of the wrist is uncomfortable. Shocking. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and start with 10 unweighted squats. So we can come standing. It's okay if you're out of camera. Feet, I don't know, squat width, shoulder, hip, huge side. Hips go back, right? Ideally parallel. If you're not there yet, I'm a little better than I expected, if I'm being honest. Let's do 15 unweighted squats. Your depth for now is not critical. So just stay balanced over the middle of your feet. Keep your toes and heels down. Hands can come forward if that's helpful. Go ahead and stand all the way up. So when you stand up, I want your shoulders, your hips, and your ankles stacked on top of each other again. Chest, Meg, don't let that chest kind of collapse at the bottom. Keep that chest up. Yeah, there you go. Forward's okay. Collapsed, not ideal. Good. Once you've completed your set of squats, we're just going to go finish it off our warm up with a plank into a down dog. I'm sure there's a yoga term for that. I don't know what it is, but here it is. Right. Plank into your down dog. You can bend your knees. Right. Pump the calves if you want. And then back to your plank shape again. Butt squeeze, so you're slightly tucked, not sagging. And let's alternate between these two positions. You can go up dog if you want to do up dog, sure. If that feels good. That's a bonus, not a requirement. Let's do this for 8 reps. If you have any shoulder stuff, you can just do a plank hold or a forearm hold if that is tolerable. Okay. And hands on dumbbells is always helpful if you have some discomfort when you're loading your palm or wrist. So split squats. For those athletes doing split squats, that just means you're using one leg at a time, whether that means, yes, ma'am. You have a guest. So whether that means you're using one leg at a time or you have one foot on the ground or not. And then if you're doing a goblet squat, you're basically gonna do what we just did in the warm-up, except you're gonna be carrying, in theory, carrying a weight with you. So if you have heavier kettlebells or dumbbells, this is great. These are 1.5. So the 1.5 part of your movement is this. So do you want to demonstrate? She doesn't want to demonstrate. Is this. When I am, you're really killing me here, Smalls. Your foot is forward, okay? My leg is back. I'm going to go ahead and go down one rep, halfway up, down, up. That's 1, right? So that's 1 rep. We're doing 2, down, halfway up, down, 1. Squat, same thing. I have my weight in hand, down, halfway up, down, 1. So that's the tempo we're working with. Just nice and steady. Nothing crazy. We're out of ordinary. Let's do 6 reps per leg. You can start unweighted if that's helpful. If you like to lift the back leg and that feels better, lift the back leg. Kick it up onto a couch or a bench or whatever else. So you want to start unweighted. Keep that knee in line with the hip and the ankle. If that down and up, right, that kind of half pump feels a little bit not great, you can remove that out of the equation. We're biasing the front leg. That's the correct response if you're doing it correctly, Meg. Feels like it's sort of getting a little. All joking aside, if you have a run after this, or you have something where you need a little bit more muscular endurance to kick in, maybe a commute to work, you can definitely drop this down to 3 sets instead of 4. Okay. Yeah, so feel free to manage your volume a little bit here. Your push-ups into a down dog. Yeah, what's up, Mike? Oh, you're good. Okay. More puppy pictures.
No, I'm just gonna copy the workout so I have it.
I can also send it to you again. I usually just do it it's a habit now.
Exactly.
6 reps are fine. It's really a sneaky 12. Let's be honest, right? The down and up twice makes it feel like 12. If you're doing 2-footed, that's 8 total, so 16. I'm assuming your loads are heavier, hence the slightly lower volume on that. So from here, push-ups into a down dog, just as much rest. Make the push-up as challenging as you can manage. Keeping the shoulder in front of the pack. Again, apologies for the clothing choice. You can't really see it, but we're going to go ahead and push up, down dog, stretch that out, back to that plank shape, push up, and down dog. Let's do 5. If you need to use your knees, use your knees. Go ahead and elevate yourself. If you're elevated, maybe work a tabletop stretch. Just send your hips back, especially if you're like in a workbench. Whatever your shoulder can tolerate in terms of range of motion, shoulder, elbow. Should feel like a nice stretch. That's all. Once you've completed your 5 push-ups into a down dog, using your knees, elevating your hands, maybe both, go ahead and repeat this up to 3 more times. Again, total of 4 sets is prescribed. If that feels like a lot, too much, use common sense. Do 3. Okay. And these next few rounds can be done more at your own pace. I'll, of course, be watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and post them or ask them live. The split squats, if you're doing a single leg, should feel very heavy on the front leg. So it's not a lunge. We're not using both feet equally. Yeah, unweighted here is totally fine. Nice reset. That's great. And if that that half rep feels okay, keep it. If it doesn't, that's okay. If you're looking for balance, Risa, hands out tends to be the easier. Like you almost like you're trying to balance at a balance beam. Tends to be, you can find your method. The other thing, Arisa, if you're at home, you seem okay. If you ever want to practice, if you ever like a broomstick or a PVC pipe, put it in your opposite hand like a walking stick. So if your right leg's forward, you'd grab like a broom and hold it with your left hand, right? Or a stick, or have your support. It's an option. You're doing great as you are. But sorry, something you can put on the ground, like something you can like a walking stick, like something you use to walk up a hill. If you don't have that available at the moment, that's okay. Just stick with what you're doing. Nice. And you can hold this dumbbell or kettlebell however you choose. So for those with bigger weights, it might make sense to carry them in the middle. If you have little dudes, you can carry them on the same if I'm doing right-handed or right-legged, you can go same-sided. You can hold them opposite. You can be creative about how you're carrying your weights. See what you prefer. The push-up can also be kind of a lay down and then get back up with as much assistance as needed. We're doing 5 of those. Yeah, mix and matching the 2-foot versus single leg is nice too. If you're doing mix and matching, Arisa, don't do 6 and 8. It's an or. Okay, so you're either doing 6 split squats per leg or 8 with 2 feet. Think of this way, if you're doing 6 split squats, you can just, if you only did 4, just do 2 more squats to finish off the set of 6. Maxine, how's your shoulder today? Thumbs up? That's good. Post-surgery, this is years ago now, Nikki was high on drugs. He did this for a thumbs up. He couldn't thumbs up because he was too drugged. He was just like, he's like, I have the photo somewhere. If I can find it, I'll definitely post it. Room for 4 total sets. If you need to go less, that's fine. I trust you to make good choices. I feel like we're finishing off stuff. I think we're a little bit staggered. That's okay. So while you're finishing your sets here, I'll check in with you just a moment. The following piece goes as follows, okay? We have 4 total sets. It has one set consists of 16 dumbbell pull-throughs. I'll go over what those are. We've done those a few times now, but I'll remind you. Dumbbell is not required, so if you don't have this, you can just pick something you can move, okay? Simple enough. A water bottle that doesn't roll around too much does the trick here. 12 half kneeling overhead presses. Again, we'll review those. And 10 Romanian deadlifts. These are going to be 2-footed. So good news. If you want to go heavier or have a kettlebell or a weight that's heavy, you can grab that. We can also make these unweighted. I'll show you how to do that as well. So our dumbbell pull-throughs, essentially, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're going to be in a plank shape, okay? Now, if you can't tolerate, again, being on the wrists, you can even be on the forearm still. It's a little harder, but it's doable. Find that plank shape again. This weight will be behind my wrist. So if my wrist, so I'm here, I'm going to reach across behind my left wrist. I'm going to reach across my right. Move that. And preloading the arm I'm going to stand on. And repeat. I'm avoiding hip shifting by preloading that hip same thing. So if I'm picking up my right hand, for example, I'm going to preload my left hip. So the hand I'm picking up, right? So my left hand, I don't want to rotate towards you in this case. I'm going to preload my left hip towards the ground, preload my right arm, and then reach. So we're connecting opposite hand to opposite foot. All right, that's the goal anyway. You're going to do 16 total of those, right? Pretty, just moving something, dumbbell or not. Options or movement 2, half kneeling. Half kneeling just means taking a knee. Here, here, whatever you find comfortable. Overhead press, assuming you can go overhead. Again, this could be just your hand. So this could be here to here, a lightweight or a light water bottle. It could be a dumbbell. Okay, that's fine. If it's a kettlebell, same principle. You might have a slightly different position here. So again, fingers, hands in the corner here. If feeling really fancy, unlikely, upright kettlebell gets a little bit harder. Just watch your wrists. It's hard to do. That's your 12 per side. Go switch. And then in terms of which hand you have your arm in, this is not important. It's not critical to this specific movement. So if I am left leg forward, I can have right hand loaded. I can have left hand loaded. That's up to you. Find what's more comfortable. And your Romanian deadlifts. So this can be done a couple different ways. You can have your kettlebells. So your Romanian deadlift is your standing position. Weights in between your legs. And hip goes back, right? Then you stand up. So this is option 1. If you have weights, lovely. If you don't like having the weight in front of you, in between your legs, it causes back pain. Another option is using your weight as a bit of a weight belt. So it sounds like a funny idea, but you hold the weight, especially a kettlebell, against your body. What this does is it gives you input. I put it like kind of just below my solar plexus, so my diaphragm, something to kind of push into, something to like brace against, if you will. And this is a very similar way of hinging, but I'm not carrying my weight super low. So if you have some low back sensitivity, it's a little closer to your center of mass, and you want to weight light enough. This feels appropriate. This is 18 pounds for me. That feels okay. If that's just a no-go, we'll go glute bridges. Okay, so simple enough. Lay down, lift your hips up. Cool. Questions on dumbbell pull-throughs? We're doing 16 of those. Half kneeling overhead presses, 12 per side. And then 10 hinging patterns, Romanian deadlifts. Cool. I'm going to take that silence as a no. No questions. When you're ready, friends, you're going to rest a minute after each set. That minute rest, of course, is going to be a little bit up to you, as in I suggest taking the full minute. If you don't need the full minute, don't take it. Okay, let's get this party started, shall we? So grab your weight objects, whatever it is. Find your spot. So preload. So if you're picking up your right hand, preload that hip, meaning push it gently, rotate it gently towards the floor. Almost like I'm dropping that hip towards the floor just a little. Good. You can also take rests within these 16 reps. Everyone seems pretty solid here, but if that's becoming too much, other pro tip, widen out your feet. So make it a wider stance. That's a nice way to kind of make this slightly less challenging. And don't hold your breath. Elizabeth, you look very tall from this angle. I like it. You look like a giant. She's presenting. Do you like it? She's saying hello. Hello. Nice job. I would suggest too having something soft for your knees. It's not a requirement by any means, but it's just nicer that way. Especially in this half kneeling. Respect your range of motion. If you're not locking out the elbow or straightening it, that's okay. Just make sure the weight you're carrying matches that ability. After the overhead half kneeling or press for 10 Romanian deadlifts. So either the weight remains between your feet. So don't let it come out between your toes, Meg. Keep it between the arches of your feet. So as you're coming down, like a plumb line. Yeah, there we go. It's okay to bend your knees. Sounds like a strange thing. Soften the knee first. There you go. So it becomes more of a high hamstring exercise than like a straight leg deadlift. So for my flexible athletes, right? Those people who can reach your toes without stretching, or palms to the ground, that kind of person, that's me. You might not get a stretch reflex on the back of your leg, the same way that a lot of people might touching the ground. So I recommend, instead of starting with a leg locked to the joint, locked, this is my elbow, not my knee, soften that joint, then send the hip back. And that will basically, and you can have your partner tell you, but if your chest is moving independent of your hips, or you're touching the ground like you're tipping forward, you've gone a little too far. Yes, we gotta go. Bye. Good work today. You hear we see you out as well? Or are you just saying goodbye to Elizabeth? Yeah. You can also make this plain pull through for anyone who can't do it. Everyone here is doing great work. But for anyone who can't do that, you're more than welcome to make that a plank hold. That's an option. Forearms, knees, whatever. You all do this with your knees closer to the or on the ground. Good. Not that you need more, well, maybe you want more toys, Maxine, but and it does take a bit of space. There is because of your range of motion on your left side, right? Where it's like doesn't go as high. Options that you can, so couple options should you choose. You can go incline bench, so by bench, right, that you can tilt up and down, right? And you can even add it into your workout, super easy. And it stores pretty easily, especially if you hang it on a wall. Option 2 is slightly less easy, but it's called a landmine press. It's basically, forgive the name, it's a terrible name, but basically it anchors into a point within a rig or in a center of a weight, and you put a barbell on it. So you can press overhead without pressing overhead.
Right.
And it's super
We've
handy.
been looking at, we've been looking at benches.
Benches are I think the bench is a little more ubiquitous. You can use that. The landmine,
Yeah.
get one, I can definitely help you use it.
Okay.
Super useful. It's not quite as obvious.
Yeah.
But you can use it for squatting, for all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Deadlifting.
Okay.
You're getting into like barbell territory. I don't know if you want to have weights for your bar, clips. You have to buy weights, and then it just starts to get a little bit cumbersome. Where's the bench?
Yeah, I mean, we have one, so we have a
Okay.
barbell.
You have weights to
and
go with the barbell?
yeah, and weights, yeah. So
it's
okay,
just
I'll
a
look at that.
It's just a landmine attachment. There's different ways they attach.
That's terrible.
I know. It's a horrific name. Forgive the name. It's terrible, but
I know you didn't make it.
definitely didn't make that one up. There is also a brand of Aerodyne bikes called the Salt bikes.
Uh-huh.
Who came up with that one? Not a woman, that's for damn sure. My point being, these names are questionable, but it just means that that is the name of the equipment, and they anchor differently. So they will often anchor into a plate, just like the center hole of a plate.
Yeah.
You can probably like screw it into a wall, right? Whatever else.
I think I know what you're talking about now. Yeah. Okay.
So bench, I think, is a little easier to wrap your head around /
Yeah.
justify.
And I think we could do
Name it
more
an
with it.
assault bike because I always want to punch somebody after using it. Just saying.
Assault bikes are mean. I don't like them. They're mean. Also, there's no way to game them.
Biking should not be violent. That's why, yeah, they're violent.
They are.
That doesn't sound fun.
There's no way to. It's basically it's this one, the one you do this on.
Yeah. Okay.
So unlike being on a trainer or even like a Concept 2 drop bar bike, the upper body stays pretty still, which is why your heart rate stays relatively low at lower intensities. As soon as you move the upper body, whole heart rate comes up just immediately.
Interesting.
And it's a fixed height. So for someone like Arisa, she would be like this, pulling to her head. For someone like you'd be like, I can't, this is ridiculous. It's a fixed height handle. So unless you fit in a certain height range,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
less
and as Meg knows, I'm really tall. On all of the planets.
on all the planets.
All the planets.
I mean, are you sure? There are a lot of planets out there, Maxine.
Super tall, tiny feet.
Put her in stilettos. What happens then?
She tries to ride around an entire island in them. Yes, that is the correct assumption.
In stilettos.
No, just tiny shoes.
Tiny shoes. What size shoes?
Okay, the story is that Maxine was like, her feet were really bothering her, and I said, those shoes look, what size are those shoes? Do they fit you? Oh yeah, they're fine. They're totally fine. So the next day, I was like, before we go anywhere, can I see your shoes? She gives me her shoes. I look at the size. I'm expecting a Euro size. No. It has an American size right in there. And I said, honey, what size feet are you? She goes, I'm an 8.5. And I went, these are a freaking 7.5. No wonder your foot hurts. So now the world knows Maxine's shoes. It's far, and then she was like, oh, this is way better for biking. I'm like, yes, it's far better to bike in shoes that fit you, right, Maxine?
It sure is. Look at these pretty things. And they're the right size.
And they match your kit. I'm just gonna put blue and white.
I think Meg has the same ones. Yes, she does. See? Now we're twins.
I need to get new road shoes.
I love them. I just don't forget the insoles.
Oh, yeah.
Truth. I have I have physics shoes, but they're I forgot which ones they are, but they're iridescent ones.
Oh, I got those too.
So they're great for low light riding. So I need to get another pair just because it's good to have two pairs of something you always buy. Nice shot. Nice work. Everyone's doing a great job with the overhead press. You can be creative with how you load this, a little wider if you're a little stiffer. That's okay. Just make sure it feels safe. You'll know if it doesn't feel safe. Okay. Whatever leg your knee's going into the ground with, squeeze that butt cheek, open up that hip. Right, so that bottom leg of the half kneeling. Okay, it's a way to reinforce your
I
bracelet.
have feedback in the opposite hip, so must be doing it right.
Yeah, especially if it's the injured side or previously injured, working on it. It's okay to feel feedback in either hip, right? Do you put watermelon juice in that, Maxine, or is it just
No,
water?
it's water. It's just really fun.
I feel like you should put watermelon juice in your watermelon. Just gonna, maybe even
Okay.
a watermelon margarita. Just putting that there. Thoughts? Maybe not at 6 a.m.
Yeah. Not at 6 a.m. No.
That might be a rough way to start a day, but
Oh. Gross.
yeah, that'd be pretty gross. Nice. Everyone's range of motion on the Romanian deadlifts can be a little bit different. So basically, whatever knee bend you start with, you're going to keep it. So don't let the chest move independently of the hips. And if you have to rebend the knee, that's a deadlift. And that's okay. So if you feel like you're sort of rounding forward, keep that chest up. So same thing, name tag, I should see the top of the A. Yeah, there you go. So it becomes less of a back exercise and more of like a butt, hamstring, little low back is okay, a little. If this causes any discomfort for anyone, just reduce your range of motion or lay down and lift your hips up. That will take your back out of the equation. So for anyone with low back sensitivity, sometimes if you're highly sensitized, for anyone who's been PT, that means you're in pain. Your body's just not ready to go there yet. So laying down is often a safe space, and just substitute your Romanian deadlifts for a glute bridge raise. Four total sets. I think we're
I'm in 4.
in 4. Yeah, I was gonna say at least approaching 4.
I've lost count, so I'll just stop when everyone else stops.
Finish the set, Teresa. Don't worry about it.
If you're like me in the pool, if I lose count, I just have to do an extra because I probably lose count. That's what I do.
Yeah, I'm that person too. I'm like, I'll just do one more set or one more round or one more whatever. That's why split times are super helpful. So then you can do the math backwards and be like, how long did that take me? Because I coach CrossFit, or did, I should say, past tense. And there's a lot of kind of as many rounds as possible in 10 minutes, 20, whatever. I can't count past 3 when I'm doing. I'm like, I get to 4 and I'm like, how many? What did I do? So they literally make like little lanyards that you can, it's like a mini abacus that you can move the dot over. And they actually sell them to CrossFit gyms and actually make money, which is funny. I get a whiteboard marker, put it on the whiteboard and tick mark with my finger and just count. And that's usually a safe bet. But no whiteboard, just take, if you have little ducks or like little tchotchkes in your house and just move them every time you've done a round. That's a great way to do it too.
So my friend Thomas did a mountain bike race that was multiple loops this past weekend. And they had it organized by age group, but finished a loop. You had a tube that with your name and with your name above it on the board, and you had to put an orange ping pong ball in the tube. And that way you could also see where you were in the age group rankings every lap.
Well, that's
Super
clever.
cute.
It's cute and it's clever. Like you can see what your opponent's doing, but also what you've done if you're
Yeah.
well into zone, well into the red and you're just trying to survive.
And if you've ever done a multi-loop triathlon course, no cheating, because many people will do that shit.
Well, they'll still cheat.
Yes.
They're just, everyone will know they cheated, I think, more importantly. How are we feeling after that? We kind of added some volume. Yeah. So we added a set to the squats from 2 weeks ago. We did a little more reps on just the total. So same number of sets, but a little more reps and volume on everything else. So with the remaining 10 minutes, if you can stay, I respect that if you have places to go, people to see, let's go ahead and pick, and you can be individual about this. Let's pick, I would say, a body part / quadrant. So upper body, lower body, right, left. Something to mobilize, manipulate. You do not need a foam roller, although it would be nice. A ball of some kind is always helpful. Otherwise, we're going to do a good old-fashioned stretch. So if you can kind of self-lead, you can pick your stretch mobility of choice. If you want suggestions, ask me. Tell me what you need or what you're looking to target. Maxine's gone down to the floor. Anything in particular for Arisa coming up for you? Or this could be day-to-day, by the way, not just workout. So this can be my shoulder kind of hurts at work, or it's kind of annoying.
I was just trying to figure out what, yeah. Oh, you know what? As I was trying to change my swim stroke, and my arm and like up around here is a little sore.
Is that normal, Meg? I don't know if that's normal. You tell me.
If it's sore, you are probably pressing, there's two things going on. One, you're probably crossing over a bit, so you're activating here instead of here.
Oh.
So, and I'm also pointing that out because we know we've had issues with that before. So if you're not correcting the crossover and you're just trying to reach further, you're gonna feel it in this pec a lot, right? So make sure that when you're reaching out, you're reaching up, but also out. And it's gonna feel like you're like an airplane out here, but you're probably gonna be here, which is right, okay? So, and the best way I would say to do that is if you have it up, when you go to the pool and have a lane by yourself, swim on top of the black line, look directly down at it, and make sure your thumbs don't touch the black line on either side. So tall lady, but don't touch the black line. And I'm gonna tell Max, I have to say the whole thing because Maxine will laugh. Tall lady, tiny box. Tall lady, tiny box.
And
That's the mantra.
Yeah, so the tiny box part is for kicking too wide, but let's just work on tall lady for you right now, Arisa. Every day in the pool, you say tall lady.
Huge. So tall. So actually,
So
it's
tall.
pretty similar to your overhead press path, actually. So you take your dumbbell, right? Here, elbows a little here. If you're pressing, it's that. Now, obviously, I have you coming back to this with weight, right? When we're weighting this. But if you just take your hand, thumb on your shoulder, and extend, that's about where Meg's having you go. Give or take.
But
Right?
if you think about it, if you cross over, you're putting a lot of, you're
Right.
doing a very different stress on your shoulder, right?
Right. But if you think of, so if we're relating this, right, between things, if you're overhead pressing, I'm not having you do, sorry, I'm going to shape my hand here. I'm not having you go to here. Right? I'm having you here. Right? So now under load, it's different. We have gravity versus buoyancy. I get that it's a different plane, but the principle remains the same. You don't want to be pulling your weight across your head.
Mm.
Want the weight over your shoulder-ish. Now, when you're swimming, it might be slightly wider, just because we don't have weight loading gravity down. But this is a much stronger position than crossing over. Now, if you're just feeling a little sore, that's an easy one. Follow your collarbone, right? I know I wore the shirt for a reason. Aha. Follow your collarbone and just go ahead, find your shoulder joint. And you're going to kind of feel that collarbone notch right in there. And you're just going to gently massage it. Just kind of take your hands. The nice thing about using your hands is it's a little more, you can choose. So you want it below the collarbone, not above, because that's soft tissue. You're going to feel a little choky. And you're just going to go ahead and gently massage that. And you can be as aggressive or as nice as you like. And you can move towards the sternum. You'll feel it. Gets hard and bony. And if you want to accentuate this, so I'm going right pec, left hand, right? So I'm not trying to flex and touch. It doesn't make sense. I can look away. So I'm going to look towards my left. I get a little stretch here. My pec kind of stretches out a little bit. I'm watching out for this position. I don't want my shoulder to then drop forward. I'm just going to gently, honestly, even on a push-up day, this works just fine too. Your pec should not feel like a drum like mine do. That's not probable, but just like you almost just like little circles, just like add pressure, just sort of as much as it feels helpful. And what hopefully you're going to feel is a little bit of release. You're going to feel the elbow come back a little bit easier. This whole front chain is a little bit less cranky, but always like whatever pec you're going for, opposite hand. Right. You could do this with the ball too. The ball might be a little bit hard to manipulate, especially if you don't have a corner or whatever else. So hands are always nice because they're a little more nuanced, especially if you can kind of get right under the collarbone. We have a gua sha tool. That's also great too, like soup spoon, that sort of deal. Just be careful with the scraping stuff. Over treatment's really easy to do. Okay. Bruising is not typically normal. A little redness is okay. But if you're walking away with like a bruise on your collarbone because you scraped yourself so hard, it's a little too much.
I would say the same thing for cupping.
Yeah. I've never been,
Shit on yourself for the release that happens.
yeah, I've never been, just for me, cupping it visually makes me visually uncomfortable. I don't like the bubbles. Nah. I can handle like scrape my fascia all day. Go for it. It's all yours. The bubbly skin thing makes me literally sick. I can't.
That's the look. But I'm just saying, if you have it done to you and you walk away, it's like people think that the big giant bruises are a sign of a badge of courage, and it's like, no, it's generally a sign that somebody went a little too far.
Mm-hmm. And often when we're looking at, let's say, pecs, for example, I like to do the opposite side. So whether it's my lats, my upper back. Now, if you don't have a foam roller, that could be a child's pose, tabletop, right? Just biasing the opposite side of the body. So that could be, I don't know, trying to think of an example here. Here's my couch. Yeah. Now, not exactly ideal, but here it is. So you're going to tabletop. You can kind of sort of sit back of the shoulder, right? Child's pose is a great option. Rolling out the upper back, that kind of thing. Right. So try and do sort of two halves of the same coin, or back and side, front and back, whatever else. Excellent. Since we have a bit of time, let's finish off with something you're looking forward to either today. Maybe that's still in your future. I don't know. I can't think of anything, even though I asked my own question. Guess I'm looking forward to breakfast. You can repeat an answer, by the way. It doesn't have to be original. Maxine, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, breakfast and a shower.
Nice.
But I like you stinky. Just kidding.
What?
I like you stinky.
Gotta go into an office and be presentable.
But Maxine, if you redefine what presentable is,
Yeah.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
don't worry. They've been there, done that.
Oh, yeah, fudge.
How are your adductors doing there over there?
I'm right in the psoas right now, and yeah.
Oh God, no, I won't touch the psoas. That makes me uncomfortable. Actually I will, but it
Very
depends on
gently, very gently. But
the
it feels good after.
have you seen the So Right, whatever that they made it specifically for psoases? I see people lay on those things and I'm like, guys, that's too gnarly. Like they just lay on it. I'm like, you need to like ease. Yeah, that thing. That thing is, I mean, it's not bad. It's just very acute. And if you're already sensitized, that is a horrifying thing to do.
Well,
But
you shouldn't just like bash yourself with it. You gotta like, it's got, like, if you can't hold a plank, you should not use this tool.
that's what I mean. People just lay on it.
Yeah,
Like
you
it's just,
gotta like ease into it and wait for it to release. And
no, I
then,
agree. But people just smash their bodies on it. It's horrific. Arisa, what are you looking forward to?
I don't know. Breakfast sounds very good, and a hot beverage, probably a coffee.
I was gonna say hot toddy is technically hot. Despite my alcohol reference, I don't actually don't drink a whole lot. I know I've referred to it twice, but
Do we need to get you a drink, Kirstie?
I like my tea, thank you, with my grass jelly in it.
or chunky tea.
Oh, we heard about this. Yeah.
I can show you the actual. If you look at it, you're like,
I'm good.
oh, you can't see it. It just looks like tea. See?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You can't see the jelly bits. It's fine. Just
I
a
I like it in cold tea, so why wouldn't I like it in tea?
It's just, it's like, it's a textural thing. Arisa, you know what the grass jelly is? I know it's not, yeah, it's just a, I don't know. Technically, it's good for your digestion, they say. Use it.
Snack in your hot beverage.
It's a snack. Last but not least, Joseph, what are you looking for? Okay, Stalls, please. But Joseph, what are you looking forward to?
I didn't say.
Testing my new insoles after this.
Nice. Running or biking?
Running.
Running. Awesome. Glad to hear it. Very cool.
I'm
It is-
looking forward to coffee and my run today.
Go, Meg.
Your run before, by Joseph. Your run before your strength work.
A run that I did before strength. Yes, absolutely.
We won't tell anybody. Little secret.
It's not like this will be on the internet or anything.
I know how to edit this part out. Thank you very much.
So you can say inappropriate things now. Kidding. I've already done that today. So
Oh, Carrie texted back. Let's see what she said.
we're gonna put